Hey, so here's a little side video I'm doing because I can't really put the kitchen video in with fighting 4 bosses in a row. So, I've noted in the actual video itself, but villagers keep hanging around outside my house. I don't know why. I think it's because there's some, like, different workbenches in here and beds, so they keep trying to move in. Anyways, today I'm going to be working on a kitchen using cooking for blockheads, which is a multi-block kitchen structure. So taking blocks of charcoal and blocks of quartz, we can make some kitchen floors. And these are nice because they let us connect things without having to have them be directly next to one another. Then we need to start making containers as well as the cooking table itself, which is what actually lets us make things attached to the kitchen. Then of course we'll need a sink. I've thrown out all the sinks I've been getting thus far, so that kind of bit me in the ass. And then we'll need some counters and some hanging drawers, or hanging counters. And of course, what's a kitchen without an oven? So this whole time I've been having my food piped up into that diamond chest right there. It's finally time to actually get use out of it. And then this chest here, I was just holding some kitchen equipment. Hope you enjoy the dulcet tones of villagers making their noises. So yeah, this chest is pretty full. I'm actually like bringing in more different types of food than there are slots in that chest, which is kind of impressive. On the one hand, I could just like rework my crops so I'm not having different types of food, but I'm more of a more is more type of person. Now, going down here, putting some power to connect to the stove, that way I don't have to worry about fueling it up. And as we can see here, all kinds of different recipes just from the handful of food that I've thrown into the nearby cabinet. Let's go ahead and grab a few extra things of food and show that off. And there we go, we got chicken and mutton as an available thing. So any food we can make will show up on that list, and it pulls its ingredients from everything connected to the multi-block. And now I want to build a few extra upgrades for the different things. The heating unit lets us use power for the oven, and then the ice unit lets us like generate ice for use in recipes. So we don't have to like actually have ice in the thing. The system will just assume we have ice if we have those upgrades on. And then likewise, having a sink, instead of having to put buckets of water in our containers, it'll just assume we have buckets of water thanks to the sink being there. So we can make like the wheat dough here. Then just a few more items we'll want to build up. Things to hold tools as well as even more storage. What's nice is that the tool holder will connect that upper drawer to the multi-block below it. As we can see here, the calamari is now showing up. And while I can put the knife there, the knife isn't actually considered a valid tool. It's a little weird. Now next up, we're going to want to get a cow in a jar. So we first make a milk jar. Slap that on down. Yoink one of our cows and need to get it inside of that hole. There we go. And then drop an anvil on it. And there we go, cow in a jar. And what's nice is that the quest reward for this gives you a spawn egg, so you don't necessarily lose your cow. And just like with the sink with water, the cow in a jar will also provide milk for recipes. Well, the milk jar also works, but the cow in a jar will actually generate more milk, whereas the other jar, you need to actually fill it in. So yeah, went on ahead, built things up, and just look at it. We got a toaster that turns bread into toast. I got a fruit basket over there that'll hold all kinds of fruits. Got our tool racks with proper tools, and I've filled in everything and kind of had like a theme. Like one will have like a whole bunch of mushrooms, one will have a whole bunch of eggs. Obviously, the fruit basket has fruits. The fridge has meat and fish. So then the question is, how do I get stuff? Oh, and then we also got the cooking pot here, where you can throw in ingredients and it'll make whatever, and then you take stuff out of it by using a bowl on it. And this has its own like unique recipes, so that's why I have this here. As far as I know, you can't use this with the multi-block kitchen. But anyways, as I was saying, how do we get stuff from the receiving chest into all of our drawers here? Well, we'll just use a starbuncle. Have him set to take things from that chest, and then have him set to put things into all the different containers. So now whenever a spot opens up, he'll pull it out of the chest and put it into its proper container. And look at that. So most of these, I'll have him dropping stuff off in most of these. And then I do have 2 cabinets that I want to have set separate from that. That'll just hold like food or some other items. By which I mean cooked food. So yeah, look at him work. Now let's address this. We have a create depot as well as a create spout. And what I'm going to do is get on up here. I probably should have knocked a hole in the ceiling first. But you know, for randomly guessing, I was very close. So there it is. And we're going to connect that spout to the refined storage system. And then hook an exporter up to it. And then I'm going to throw in a regulator upgrade. The way this thing works is that you'll have to specifically input how much of what goes into whatever it's connected to. And then the system will ensure that it'll have just that much. So in this case, I'll say honey. And I can ask for 1 bucket's worth of honey. And then the system will ensure that there's always a bucket's worth of honey. And it won't go over it. And then you throw containers in the depot and it will start filling things up. I'll just need to remind myself to disable whatever is exporting out so it can be clear for the next ingredient. So I can now pull in all of my honey that's being collected by the bees into here. I mean, sure, it's manual, but it's fine. And then I figure, oh hey, with the cow in the jar, I could probably hook this up into my receiving dimensional tank, so now I have milk inside of my refined storage system. Now, why would I want to do that when the cow in the jar automatically provides milk to the cooking system? We'll just show off why in a second, but look at all these different things I can make right now. And this is why I also don't bother cooking the animal meat before it being delivered to my house, because some ingredients requires raw versions of food. But anyway, let's go ahead and get that milk that I imported to the refined storage system out into this container. I try to set up to only have, like, request enough milk for one bottle's worth, but it's a little too late because the milk's already in the system. Whoops. But whatever. It's a good way to show off that you can have the regulator set up like that. Go ahead and clear it up, throw our bread on in, and look at that, delicious sweet rolls. So yeah, that is my new kitchen system. Let's reward our little Starbuncle buddy. Later.